I didn't panic when I saw it. The red line sat there, clean and official looking like it belonged. Restricted hold, no explanation, no warning, just a refusal to move money that wasn't supposed to be still. Payroll was scheduled in 3 hours. I refreshed twice, logged out, logged back in. Nothing changed. There's a particular kind of silence that settles in when something goes wrong in a system you trust. Not loud, not urgent, just off. Like a sentence missing a word. I picked up my keys before I allowed myself to think too far ahead. The bank was already open when I got there. Early light, quiet lobby, the hum of printers and low voices. It should have felt routine. It didn't. They were sitting across from the manager's desk. My parents, they didn't look surprised to see me. That was the first thing that landed wrong. Not shock, not even discomfort, just a kind of settled calm, like they had been expecting this exact moment. My mother gave me a small smile, the kind she used when I was younger and upset about something she had already decided wasn't worth being upset about. We were just explaining, she said gently. As if I'd walked into the middle of a conversation that was already resolved. The manager glanced at me, then back at them, then back at me again. There was uncertainty there, but it wasn't his yet, it was still theirs. Family first, my father added, leaning slightly forward. She'll thank us later. It wasn't said defensively. It wasn't said like a justification. It was said like a conclusion. I didn't sit down right away. I stayed standing for a moment, letting the room arrange itself around me, letting their version of things finish settling. No one asked me how I was. No one explained the hold. I pulled out the chair across from the manager and sat down, placing my phone on the desk between us, the red line still visible on the screen. I need to process payroll today, I said, my voice steady enough to pass as neutral. The account is restricted. The manager nodded quickly. Yes, we're aware. There was a request submitted regarding. My mother reached out slightly, not touching anything, just entering the space. We asked them to pause things, just temporarily. Pause. Like it was a conversation I'd stepped away from. It's for your own good, she added, softer now. You've been under pressure. You don't have to carry everything alone. There it was. Not control, not interference care. I looked at her, then at my father. He gave a small nod, like he was confirming something already agreed upon. I didn't argue. I didn't ask why they thought they could do it. I didn't explain what payroll meant or what would happen if it didn't go through. None of that would land. Instead, I turned slightly toward the manager. Who initiated the payroll change? The question didn't sound confrontational. It sounded administrative, routine. Something that belonged to him, not to us. He blinked once, then turned to his screen. Well, the request came through. He paused, clicking. There was documentation provided. Authorization. Another click. His posture shifted. It wasn't dramatic. Just a small stillness, like something had stopped aligning. He leaned closer to the screen. My father exhaled lightly, almost amused. It's all been taken care of, he said. We've handled the formalities. Handled. The manager didn't respond. He clicked again. The room changed before anyone said anything. You could feel it. The way attention moved. The way certainty loosened just slightly at the edges. What is it? My mother asked, still calm, but sharper now. He didn't answer her. He turned the monitor slowly, angling it so I could see. The line was simple. System generated. No emotion in it. Payroll change. For a second, no one spoke. My mother's expression didn't collapse. It didn't even fully shift. It just paused, like her face hadn't been updated yet. That can't be right, she said, quieter now. We spoke to the manager, straightened, his tone different now, more formal, less shared. I'm going to need to clarify a few things, he said, not looking at them anymore. The center of the room had moved. My father leaned back slightly, a faint crease forming between his brows. We were told. I understand, the manager said, cutting in, not harshly, but firmly enough that the sentence didn't continue. But this request doesn't match the account authorization on file. Silence again. This time it stayed. I didn't look at my parents. I kept my eyes on the screen, on the wording, on the clarity of it. Unauthorized, not misunderstood, not miscommunicated. Unauthorized, the manager turned the screen back toward himself and began typing, his movements more precise now. We'll need to remove the restriction immediately, he said, and document the incident. Incident, my mother shifted in her seat. There must be some mistake. We're her parents. It landed differently now, not as authority, as information. The manager nodded once, polite but unmoved. I understand your relationship, he said, but the account is registered solely under her firm. Any changes require direct authorization from the account holder. He glanced at me briefly, not for permission, but for confirmation. I gave a small nod. That was enough. My father's voice lowered. We were trying to help. No one responded to that because it wasn't relevant anymore. The system had already decided what this was. The manager printed something, slid it toward me. I'll just need your signature to release the hold and restore full access. I took the pen. My hand didn't shake. There was something unexpectedly quiet about it, not triumphant, not relieving, just clean, like correcting a line that had been written in the wrong place. Behind me, I could hear my mother shift again. A soft movement, like she was about to speak. She didn't. The printer hummed once more. Access will be restored within the next few minutes, the manager said. I nodded, placing the pen down. No one said thank you. No one apologized. The language we'd been using before, family, care, protection, it didn't fit in the room anymore. It had nowhere to attach. I stood up. For a moment, I thought about saying something, explaining maybe, drawing a boundary out loud so it would be heard, acknowledged. But the boundary was already there. It was written in the system, logged, processed. It didn't need my voice. My father looked up at me, like he was waiting for something, a reaction, a correction, maybe even gratitude. I didn't give him one. My mother's expression had softened again, but not in the same way as before. There was something searching in it now, something that didn't quite know where to land. She started. I met her eyes, just briefly. I didn't nod. I didn't shake my head. I just let the sentence stop where it was. The manager stepped slightly to the side, opening the space for me to leave. A small gesture. Procedural. But clear. I walked out of the bank the same way I had walked in. No rush, no hesitation. Outside, the morning had settled fully. People moving, doors opening and closing, everything continuing as if nothing had paused. My phone buzzed once in my hand. I didn't check it right away. I stood there for a second, feeling the absence of something I hadn't realized I'd been carrying. Not anger, not even disappointment, just interference. When I finally looked, the red line was gone. The balance sat where it was supposed to. Available, unrestricted. I locked my phone and slipped it back into my bag. Then I went back to work.